Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Cancer. If Cancer is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so tonight our card is the High Priestess. Okay, and let's see what these tea leaves have to say. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to hit the little like button or leave a comment, please do. I would love to hear from you, especially if this is your first time at the channel. Shout it out. Definitely. Okay. So the first thing I'm seeing that, well, not the first thing that stands out, but a very powerful energy here. We have, it looks like a person standing here. You can kind of see the head up here, that there's an arm raised. There's a child in their hand. They're wearing maybe a dress or a robe. A real sense of, it feels like motherhood to me. This real feeling of being very close to your mother, or you yourself being a mother and really thriving in that position in your life. Now, I say mother, and I hate to limit it to that because it could be that you are a father or a caregiver of some kind. You're fulfilling kind of a parental role for somebody or a mentor. That could definitely be it. But I'm looking at this, it feels like a mother, okay? And there's a joyousness. I mean, it's just absolute. Now we have this, it looks like a little path, right? Like the stones on a path. And I can see it kind of moving upwards towards, and this is this metaphysical divine area on the rim here. Okay, so I feel like this is a role that is so profound that it leads you to the divine. It absolutely. Something that feels like transcendent. Okay. Now, when you get into the role of being a parent or being a caretaker or a grandparent, or if you go into some career field where you're teaching or working in the medical field, or you're maybe like running a daycare or something, right? Where you are responsible in the care and guidance of others, right? The education of others. You can't help but evolve as a being, you know. It activates a part of ourselves that it does. It fully changes us. And for some people, that is something that it feels so natural. It is something that really empowers you. It makes you kind of feel like, okay, well, this is maybe what my whole life was like kind of leading towards, right? You know, and for others, maybe it's not that. Maybe it is kind of finding out that this isn't really for me, or, you know, I can do this, but it isn't as fulfilling, or it's not something that, you know, it doesn't, how do I explain this? You know, it does, and this happens more often than we like to talk about, especially when you're having a child. I don't think a lot of people openly discuss their, their experience with maybe having a kid and not feeling connected to them. It might take some time. It might never happen. And it feels like a very stigmatized thing. Especially if you're a mother. I mean, I don't know about fathers so much. I'm not a father. I don't exist within a community of fathers. But I am a mother, and I see how judgmental people can be towards motherhood and how you do things as a mother. I don't even know what maybe it was from a different reading. I don't know. Well, it was a different reading. I don't know I forget what I was even talking about, but just a comment. I don't know exactly what they were on about, but very, very critical of people parenting. So I don't know what exactly what's, but it's not going to happen here, right? we do not come down on people that are already experiencing something that maybe is difficult for them to express, because it's not talked about. It is stigmatized. Now, all of that to be said, I know I went off on kind of one of my little little rants there, but I feel like this is something that you love. I think that maybe you didn't even know that you were going to love being around kids or being a parent or a grandparent or whatever, but I think it's something that it's quite fulfilling to you, okay? And there's a glee here. Now, in the middle, we have a ship. Okay, you can kind of see the ship. You can see the sail. This reminds me of like, I think they're the Spanish ships with these kind of shaped sails, right? I don't know for sure. I'm not a expert at at old sailing ships. Big, I don't know, warships or, I don't even know. So this would be, 1700s, 1800s, this kind of era. I'm trying to think of like pirate shows and things that I've watched. But when I do see a ship or a boat, or whatever it is. Now, they have different meanings depending on, of course, what their utility is. So, in this case, I'm looking at this as like kind of a long range, crossing the ocean, kind of, exploration. Now, I look at this and it leads me to believe that there is a big change coming for you. Something that you yourself have chosen. This is intentional. But I feel that around it is going to be some conflict. Okay? This isn't going to be something that the people around you necessarily care for. So maybe it's literally that you're like moving your family and you might be further away from your parents or your extended family or whatever, and they're kind of upset about that. That's kind of the, feeling I have, like it is a departure and there's conflict around it. Now, it could also be that there is an end to a relationship here. It could be your spouse or partner, but it also could be a friendship or a family member that you are maybe going like non-contact with. Down here, I see somebody and it looks like they're angry. I mean, I could see them throwing up their hands and stomping their feet. Now, up here, same thing. And I just get this kind of almost wallowing, just angry and wallowing and making lots of sound and yelling and crying and, just being very dramatic. And I feel like this only strengthens your resolve, right? It's very hard to emotionally manipulate a Cancer person. Probably just manipulate them in general. But you all have such deep intuition. You have such a lunar, watery disposition that, it's not like you're just kind of always the same way. There's a lot of kind of waxing and waning with things. So that gives you kind of a shifting perspective depending on really how you're feeling. And so for somebody to try to come in and use these like big emotions to kind of get their way with you doesn't work. If anything, it just annoys you. If anything, it just makes you retreat into yourself. Or, pack your bags and get on that sailboat. Get out of here, right? But I feel like this is something that maybe you should prepare yourself for because, I think there's like some turmoil coming down the pipeline here. And, it's not necessarily something you're interested in dealing with. And that's for real. That feels very strong to me. Okay, so we also have the Ace of Cups up here. And so, a beginning of a new kind of emotional journey, right? You having the ability as a vessel, right? The Holy Grail, the Ace of Cups is the holder of the emotional waters. So I feel like you are fortified in a way where you can absolutely kind of take on whatever's going on. But even more than that, kind of protect yourself against outside influences and really just dwell in the emotional kind of environment or what is the word I'm thinking of? The emotional atmosphere that you yourself are creating outside of any kind of relation to anybody else, okay? So we also have, right over here, we have a person holding, and it looks like a Libra symbol. So I feel that there's a connection to a Libra person. Now, we also have a person here next to a volcano. So I'm wondering if this Libra person in your life is the one that you're kind of deciding to walk away from. Because I feel like they're very, excuse me, very volatile. Oh my goodness, I need a drink. I really am praying for myself right now. And by the time this comes out, I hope that it comes out in I think 2 days. I record 2 days ahead. And I'm hoping against all odds here that I don't get sick. Because I woke up feeling kind of, sniffly in my throat a little bit. Well, my daughter's, I won't say who she is really, but one of my daughter's tutors, was sick. and she told us as much, or at least she told my husband, and we both came in contact, all three of us did, directly. So I've been loading up on the vitamins, it's just nothing worse than getting really sick in the summer. And so anyways, I'm hoping. And I've been kind of coughing a little bit during my last 2 readings. And I'm like, okay, please, don't let me get sick. But anyways, here it does feel like this Libra person in your life, Cancer, is, really volatile. I can see, it looks, like there's a little bit of smoke coming off. And I just feel like this is a person that feels like it's like you're always catering to their emotions. Okay, like they're just, well, and I see it looks like a baby crawling. It does feel like they are kind of, very self-centered, right? Emotionally kind of immature, even if they're like, 70 years old. And it feels like it could, I feel like this is a family member because there's just kind of in places, and I'm going to say the audacity, because it is the audacity to, continually be in your life or come into your life periodically and just cause an SH storm, right? And then no matter what they have done or said or how they have behaved, they end up being the victim. And I feel like you're just at a place where it's like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing it. I'm not engaging. I'm not feeding into it. And I'm out of here. And I support that 100%. That is a very tiring dynamic to have with somebody. It absolutely is. Okay, so we also have, it looks like S-E-E. Okay, so C. I just noticed that one. C. This one looks like it says S-O-S. S-O-S. So if you don't know what SOS is, it's a call for help. Okay. And I don't mean to laugh at that, but it's just kind of like this feeling of somebody calling out to you, sending a message. See this, look at this, look. So be aware, right? Be aware. Now, and I'm looking at this, it looks like L-E-O, Leo. Now this one down, I'm reading it as W-A-R. So I really wonder if, and it says, it looks like L-A-W on this side. So I feel like as you kind of are deciding to move on, right? It's like other people getting involved and causing this, kind of family, like it's a family disagreement. It's getting rowdy. There are people taking sides. And I feel like for you, it's just kind of like, I am uninvolved in this anymore. I'm walking away from this. Now, I feel like there's also a Leo person who maybe is aligned with that Libra person. Okay. So the best thing that I can say here is continue to do what you feel, right? Disengage. Do not get pulled into, an argument, especially on the internet. Don't get on, one of those social medias and start going at it on a post or whatever. Just shut it off. Shut off the screen. I'm thinking of like back in the day, you hit the little button, you push the button in on the screen and it closes, makes that crack sound, turns off, right? Like a desktop computer, if you're too young to remember. Oh my gosh, yesterday, that just reminded me, yesterday, I had to laugh and a little tear also. I got mistaken. I was with my daughter and niece, right? My niece is a teenager. She's around 16. And we went somewhere. We went to a store to get things for like hair things or whatever. And my daughter and I were kind of behind. My niece came in before us, and we were with her. It was obvious we were talking to her and stuff. And then she went off to a different aisle. And this lady that worked there, who was probably my age, I would assume around my age, we were talking about her kid, you know, and I had never met her, but you know, it was being nice and having this conversation, which really I'm not good at, like this kind of random chit chat. But she was showing me pictures and stuff, and oh, you know, beautiful kid and stuff. And then she asked if I was, you know, grandma. She's like, oh, maybe we can find some time for a play date. You can ask your grandma. Are your grandma right? And I was like, what? That's the first time that's ever happened to me. Which, listen, I'm all about getting old. I love it. I love being older. I love being an older mom, especially, although it is tiring. But I don't know. I guess I wasn't prepared for it. I did not know. I guess the look on my face. I mean, not that I was angry or upset or anything. I was just like, what? You know, because my niece is young. So it just, my brain was discombobbled. And, yeah, that was pretty funny. Also, I felt pretty honored, though. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Because, you know, I've said this before. I look forward to my cronehood. I already call myself that. And I feel very much that I've stepped into the beginnings of that role. And so, yes, it's cool to be, I would be, you know, most happy to be grandma, but no, that's my daughter. It's just, I don't know. So, let's see. So we have a person with a heart. Here's the heart. Here's the person. It looks like a little bit of a stone face, right? Not necessarily upset. I feel like just emotionally unattached. And that's really what this reading feels like to me, is that to the outside forces, a sense of just not putting up with it anymore, reserving those emotions for the place that the places and the people that you feel close to, right? In a way that is functional, in a way that's not toxic, in a way that makes you feel good about your life. And the rest of it is not worth your time. And so I feel like this really is a time of kind of great bravery for you. Letting go of some old things. Standing up for yourself. And really just having the wherewithal to say, yep, I'm done. This is, I'm finished with this. So I do feel like a growing love for self and for the well-being of not only just you, but like your direct family unit. Okay, by kind of just purging this kind of discord that shows up in your life every once in a while. And that's not a bad thing. I think that's actually such a beautiful thing. And really, we have that high priestess energy. I feel like as you're escaping these kind of lower entanglements, and it feels, in my mind, I'm just thinking of being stuck in like if you've ever been like near a blackberry patch, and the plants are big and robust and full of thorns. If you get in there, if you've ever picked blueberries, I used to live in a house that was surrounded by blackberry bushes. And if you get in there, it's a heck of a time to get out. I mean, it's caught up on all your clothes. It's, kind of scratching you, and yeah, they can get real thick, and I feel like it's kind of like escaping that. This is what that person or these people in your life feel like. You just get stuck in there, and it's painful, and it's not worth it. And so I feel like, yeah, there's like a lot of room for freedom here. There's like so much extra time in your being, in your existence, because you're not going over the stuff continually in a loop. So that is a blessing. And what I was going to say, with this high priestess energy, it really is about that kind of freedom of these lower things, and having this energy, this vitality that allows you to really get into this really spiritual place in your life, which has everything to do with love, with agape, with, love for your family, your devotion to not only them, but to yourself, and to developing your being, your spiritual side, your creativity, your work. And I think all of this, it really solidifies that need to kind of release yourself of these, it's been a lot of years, right, where you've just dealt with it. And I think once you don't have to deal with it, you realize it's taken up such a huge amount of space. So let's go ahead and we're going to look at our divine doors, and I'm going to flip through, and I'm going to stop where it feels right. Oh yes, look at that. We have this very, very beautiful, peaceful gateway, this Tibetan, is it an ashram? I'm not sure. Temple, beautiful, beautiful. Those blue skies, you could just live in them. It says, a distant kiss in a prayer flag. I wish of all wishes that you were here through sunlight and rain. I need you near. I need you near. Absolutely. Everybody needs a dang Cancer in their life. That's for sure. I know. I always let it be known. Cancers are my faves. All right. I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little button. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. And it is free to subscribe. Also, if you'd like to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. And if it's your first time watching the channel, definitely leave a comment. Shout it out. Let me know. And with that, again, I'll say I love you. Take care of yourself. Good night, good night, good night.